Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus here with a review of Transformers Animated Possessive Voyager Blitzwing. This is a toy I've had for a little while, actually, and I'm sure that I've gotten at least 2 messages asking me to review him, so that's a staggering amount of mail, and I decided to cave in and get around to it. Mostly it's a case of me having to be in a certain mood to want to review a given toy. Anyway, this is his jet mode, his aerial mode. Arguably, the most strategically superior of his 3 modes. Few can escape its calculating and merciless skybound attack, and fewer still speak of that day with anything but the deepest sorrow. For a triple-changing jet, it actually does a pretty decent job. Granted, it is riding on the higher budget of a Voyager scale, but it's actually fairly aerodynamic from certain angles, and I'm impressed with it. Its only real drawbacks are the massive amounts of treads hanging underneath, and the enormous gap in the middle there. There's no way to close that without cacking up the structural ability of the back here, to invent a word, but I don't really mind it that much. If you look at him from this angle, it looks really nice. And the original Blitzwing had similar tread hang-off, as well as a massive turret on the bottom, unless you chose to pull that off. But, you know, perfect transformation and all that. Now, it can shoot missiles out of the back, but I find that really tactically inferior, so I haven't bothered sticking them in there. You can also say they're like, you know, jet exhaust, but that's up to you. However, it's a pretty decent mode. It's got a cool, sort of shiny, like, it's clear but so dark you can't see through it cockpit. And, it looks jetty. Of course, this does belie its alternate vehicle mode, and, well, it's a doozy. It's pretty much the unstoppable Armageddon force of the tank that will blow a hole through the dimensions! Quiver in fear and terror, for your pathetic lives will soon be at an end! But first, let's transform him. The transformation for this is really clever, in my opinion, and it's very simple. The cockpit stuff's in here. These wings fold up into a little ball. You flip this bit over this bit. And then, if you had the missiles in, this is kind of a nice touch, you could swivel these around so the triggers aren't on the bottom and hard to hit or easy to accidentally hit. And, I don't know, I like thoughtful things like that. And then the feet just roll up into the treads here, and then they, pretend to seamlessly blend in at the front. And then this is my favorite part. You make this guy totally panzer by, clicking the wings down. And now he's the most adorable little Doom tank in the history of Doom tanks that are adorable. Well, how do I put this? He's like a little softball on treads that wants to kill you, and I think he's really, really cute. It is not cute! It is Doom! Now, as I mentioned before, this does have missiles. They look like this, they stick in like this, and I don't like them very much. I'm sorry, guys. I don't like sculpted flame missiles that much because they just look unnatural to me, you know, in the stark realism of Transformers as a whole, when they just sit there sticking out of a gun, so I don't really use them that much. Anyway, you didn't tune in to see 2 vehicles, you tuned in to see robots! So, let's robot this guy up. And it's quite a neat little transformation, again, with a really unfortunate thing that I believe Pogue pointed out at first, and thanks to that magnificent bastard, I can't stop seeing it when I transform this toy. This, by the way, has really nice heel flips. I don't know, I've seen a lot of bad heel flips, and I've seen a lot of ones that just get the job done, but these actually look like they're part of the shape of the foot. It really intrigues some tiny part of me that gets intrigued by stupid, meaningless details. Now, let's get this joke out of the way. Oh my god, Goatsy! Thanks, Pogue. Anyway, the hands do flip up, and the whole assembly back here is very, very picky about how, how everything gets arranged back there to fit in. It surprised me, actually, given how the line has so far done a lot of the work by itself. In this case, you do have to kind of pay attention a little bit to where things are going. And also, it's recommended to clip these bits out a little bit before you flip them back. If not, to just offer a little bit more clearance room. And, by the way, this springy bit is for the vehicle modes. It took me a while to figure out what it did, but it compresses so that the arms can fit back there in the vehicle form. It's, again, as I said, some very, very precise engineering. The kind of thing that you can really look up to. The kind of thing that you could model your life after, and the kind of thing that doesn't abide forearms popping off like that. That is a problem I've had with this toy, is the forearms do hold on there just by tiny pegs, friction pegs, and it just doesn't really do it for me. Now, the face. Let's see which one we get, ladies and gentlemen. And we get the angry face. That's right, Blitzwing has 3 faces. They're all sculpted rather nicely, although the angry face does suffer a bit because they couldn't give him the magnificent Arnold chin. But you can actually swivel them around back here. So you get the crazy face, you get the Colonel Clink face with the monocle, and you get the angry face. So I'll go back to my favorite one here because, well... Oh, and you get the mutant aborted triplet face as well, which frightens children. And doesn't really do it for me, but, you know, there's people out there who are into that stuff, and I respect them completely and utterly for what they believe in. Now, Blitzwing is actually not very posable. This is a big disappointment I had with the figure. His legs can do anything you want them to, but when it comes to his arms, he has, he has all the joints, right, that are there. However, due to the way things work up here, if you twist his arm too much, it, stays on, apparently. Let's do it with this one. If you twist the arm too much, it pops off. Or if you want to move his shoulders around in a bit more of an epic way so they're not just sitting there, you know, stoically, they're kind of limited, and it's, I don't know, it's weird. He's kind of like Bumblebee in that he has a lot of joints, but the number of poses he can actually assume is surprisingly low. Oh, and also these wings, really unfortunately, are attached to the back of his arms. I would have preferred if they'd somehow stuck back here onto the backpack, which, yes, does like to fall off a lot. It's not a big deal, it's just when you get to things where he's sticking his arms all the way up like this, they kind of hang off, and you can't fold them up because stuff gets in the way, and the wings will just pop off. However, those quibbles aside, it's a case of a toy that does so many things right that I can't really be bothered too much by the articulation problems. He's got a really characterful sculpt. He looks like he's wearing leather boots and leather gloves. He's got like khakis on and desert goggles. I just love it. His head's a little bit finicky to keep one face on there, and it is bendy, by the way, so it can get a little warped. Also, his cannons do not fold over his shoulders like in the show, but you can really fix that easily by ripping them off and then just kind of, you know, balancing them there like that. Overall, he's a pretty cool toy, but he is marred by some things that may turn you off. Most specifically, the articulation, and whether or not they really do have such looseness when they come out at retail. Yes, this is another stolen Chinese toy, but it is my last one, and I regret nothing. I didn't pay $300 for it. I paid a lot less than you think I paid for it. Anyway, this is Internet Personality Vangelus. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope that you consider Blitzwing. He's got problems, but if you buy him for the triple transformation, he's pretty fun. And he's nice sort of just standing around. Oh, standing around, that reminds me. Does he fit in with the 2 other classics remakes of the Triple Changers? No, sadly, he does not. Oh well. He does have a new friend. He doesn't need these chumps anymore. He's got the best BFF you could ever ask for. He's got Lugnut's little brother, Shortnut. And you know what? They can dance, damn it! They can dance! It's a fun time! Rock and roll party! Yay! Now Mike Saunders is singing! Rock and roll, baby! Come on, rock and roll! We love it here! Yay! Look out! Omega Supreme crashed the party with his crazy gun-toting woman! Oh no! Uh-oh! My woman got total ownage! Total ownage? On a woman? Ah! Shortnut saves the day! She kisses Shortnut! He's happy! Omega Supreme ain't happy! Uh-oh! That woman kissed him! Now he's dead! Omega Supreme's happy! We're partying! Blitzwing sad! happy! What I'm trying to say is, play with your toys.